Hello and welcome to Small Country Big Talk. This is your host, Joey Spitz. We have the honor of being joined today by Sivan Yaari, the founder and president of an important organization known as Innovation Africa. Just a little background, she joined the United Nations Development Program and continued to lay the groundwork for what would later become this important NGO. Thank you so much, Sivan, for joining us here today.
Thank you, Joey. It's a really pleasure. Thank you for giving us a chance to share with you the work that we are doing.
So let me ask you up front, in case some of our listeners might not be familiar with the program, what really is Innovation Africa? What's the work that you guys do?
Innovation Africa is a 501c3 nonprofit organization which has a very simple mission. Our mission is to bring Israeli innovations to African villages. In the past 5 years, we have brought solar technologies and irrigation technologies to over 63 villages, and we are currently operating in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Malawi, and in Ethiopia.
I mentioned before that you got started while working with the United Nations, but could you give us a little bit of background? I know it's been an ongoing effort now for about 5 years. How did this whole thing come about? How did you get inspired?
Well, it really happened 14 years ago when I first went to Africa. I was sent to Madagascar by a company that I worked for that makes jeans, manufacturing jeans. And they had a factory in Madagascar, and I was the quality control manager. And they asked me to go and check on the quality of the jeans. But when I first arrived to Africa 14 years ago, and when I saw the poverty, the extreme poverty that existed and still does, I wanted to find a way to understand why today, at that time, people still didn't have water, electricity, access to basics, vaccines, and medicines. And it was only when I went to graduate school at Columbia that I got the chance to have an internship with the UNDP, the United Nations Development Program. And only then I understood that the reason why people today, still today, do not have access to water and electricity and vaccines and medicine is because there is no energy. And that's when I decided to go ahead and try to use Israeli technologies, specifically solar technologies, and bring some light to those who are very much in need.
Now let me ask you, can you walk us through from start to finish how you choose a project, how you implement it, and when you know you're ready to move on to the next project?
Yes. You know, it's not easy because the number of people that are living without access to energy is just enormous. We're not talking about one village, 100 villages. We're talking about thousands of villages. We're talking about 54 countries in Africa, and 92% of them, of the population, doesn't have access to energy. And so it's certainly not easy. So the way that we are doing it is first and foremost going to places where there is drought. With the solar energy, with the energy, the solar technology that we are bringing from Israel, we are pumping water from the aquifers. We're pumping about 20,000 liters of water. So the first thing is really looking for the regions where there is need for water and there is drought, and those that are very much in need. When it comes to choosing orphanages, medical clinics, and schools that need help, we're really trying also to research those villages and those medical clinics and schools and orphanages that serving the most amount of students and people, and we're trying to help them first by providing them electricity and energy and refrigerators to store vaccines and medicines.
Now, what are some of the unanticipated challenges that exist on the ground? Surely you're going to these communities and trying to bring them things that they don't have prior, but there must be certain things that come about that you couldn't have expected, different challenges. What are some of those and how have you gotten through them?
Yes, the main challenge is really choosing the right village, because you also need to make sure that the community is able to sustain the project and that they feel involved and they get the ownership of the project. So it's very important for us to work with the community, to work with the leaders, to work with the villagers, and to make sure that they are ready for such a change.
I'm curious, are they ever not receptive? Do they? Because you made an interesting point here that they need to take ownership of the project as well. Are all people across the board coming to you with open arms, or is it ever somewhat of a negotiation?
You know, they are so thankful just to see us. I would like maybe to take a moment, with your permission, to just explain to you how just by bringing solar energy is changing the lives of people, how they lived before and how they are living after. When we get to a medical clinic in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Malawi, what we are usually seeing is that they only have one nurse, maybe 1 or 2 beds, and 1 kerosene lamp. They don't have electricity, and therefore they don't have vaccines and medicines. Now, when we come with 240 watts of solar panels, and when we are installing it on top on the roof of the medical clinic, and we are providing them with 12 to 18 light bulbs, and we are installing a refrigerator, that's only now where they are able to really treat their patients and provide thousands of children and mothers access to vaccines and medicines that before they didn't have a chance to get. So when we are saying that thanks to the Israeli technologies and thanks to the work that we are doing with very little investment, we're really able to change the lives of many, many children and many, many mothers and adults that are that deserve a better future.
Well, certainly the work that you do around the world is phenomenal, allowing people to live that much better of a life. I'm curious, what are some of the future projects that you have in mind? Maybe what are some things, if our listeners are interested, that they could get involved in?
Oh, unfortunately, there are many, many people that are still waiting for us. So really, if we can just continue and do what we are doing today, continue to go and look for the orphanages, the medical clinics and the schools that need help, go and reach more villages where there is drought, pump more water, use drip irrigation, Israeli technology, to come and help them to grow more food with less water. That's what really they need. Once they get access to vaccines and medicines and water, that's what they need. They can go and have a better education. They can grow food. They can be secure. It's really changing their lives.
I'm curious, you've seen the realities on the ground up close and have worked with people who truly need help. Does that allow you, looking towards the future of Africa, clearly it's a big place, but at least in the places that you've spent, do you remain optimistic that things will continue to get better?
Yes, but people need to understand that as of today, still millions of people are spending 2 to 3 hours a day looking for water and looking for wood. Wood, it's the only source of energy that they have. They need wood for cooking. And water, that's what keeps them going. But it's not easy to find water, and whether or not you believe in global warming, the truth is that there is more and more drought, and it's more and more difficult to find water. So what I'm trying to say is that until we can come and pump water from the aquifers, because Africa has plenty of water, what we need is energy to pump it. Unless we do it, and we can provide them access with water, so that they don't have to look for water anymore. Children can go to school. They can use the water to grow food, so they don't have to worry about that. Only then, once they get the basic, they can continue and be self-sufficient. So if we are able to do it and using Israeli technologies to pump water and provide them the minimum that they need, I think that's really the future for Africa.
I have no doubt that with people like you working to make the world a better place, that reality can come true. I want to thank you once again for coming on the show. We look forward to having you back to learn more about the work you've been doing. If you would like to get involved with Innovation Africa, please visit their website at www.innoafrica.org. Thank you once again, Sivan.
Joy, thank you.